Hi friends, David here from Above AVL and this channel, Learn Stage Lighting. Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest thorns in your side when it comes to setting up lighting and AV equipment, and that is wrapping cables. Let's dive in. Okay, so wrapping cables is one of those things, if you've been working with AV production for any time, you either are great at it and it serves you well and makes your life easy, or you're sick and tired of, grabbing a cable, going to unwrap it, having a tangle everywhere, or, my favorite, having a funky loop or a knot in the cable every 3 feet. We're going to cover that here today. And you just go, you know what? I wish cables weren't such a hot mess. Okay. Today, we're going to show you how to wrap a cable properly as shown by a left-hander, and hopefully it translates well to you. Otherwise, we can always link to other videos below. But regardless, there are a few primary ways to wrap cables, but the most popular way in stage lighting is the over-under method in audio-video fields, okay? Basically, what you're trying to do is emulate or continue how the cable was birthed into the world, which is that there's a slight turn to cable as it's built and put on a reel by the manufacturer. Okay, that slight turn is built into the form of that wire. And so what we want to do is emulate that. So let's talk about it, do a quick wrap, show you both in the front camera, and I'm sure we'll cut to the overhead camera, some things you want to know about cables. You can see, first of all, this is a correctly wrapped cable, and I can easily just walk along and drop this cable, and there's no knots, no fuss, no nothing. Of course, the thing people show a lot is you toss the cable, and you can't see it, but it's a perfectly straight line out there. And so how do you wrap it then? Well, pretty simple, usually starting at the end without the cable tie, but this time I'm at the end with the cable tie. Okay, we're gonna do what's called the over-under method. So the over-under method means you make about a 3-foot circle with most cables, okay, so about 3 feet of wire. It's usually about this big. That being said, thicker power cables, things like that, might be larger. And so simple. Over is just a simple wrap, right? But then under is where you do the same thing, about 3 feet of wire, okay? But you actually bring it under itself, okay? Does that make sense? So you bring under. So we're gonna show that overhead as well. So over, under. Okay, over is just a regular loop, okay? Some people just do over and then they actually they say it's over under over with a twist, because you can actually kind of twist the cable. Or I think some people put their hand on this side and twist it. But regardless, then it's under, okay? Over, just a standard, under, over. And when you get good at this, you can go really fast. And you're going to end up, if you wrap it to about the same size that it's used to have been wrapped in the past, you're going to get a really nice coil like this, where things are about the same size. And most importantly, when you go to unwrap it, like I said, it just comes off the coil, right? It's just, you could just drop this thing along as you're walking, and it's nice and straight. Nothing's tangled, no knots, no fuss, no nothing. Now, what are some things that give over under a bad rap? Okay, if I take this cable and I take this cable tie, by the way, these are the best cable ties you've ever used, and we've got them and they're not expensive, but you can get a 24-pack from our store. We're about to have a second size too, woohoo, a bigger one. But these are just so great because they stay on the cable if you wrap them the way we show you, and they're really heavy duty. Of course, they've got the logo of your favorite place to buy lights and AV equipment, aboveavl.com, but these are just great. But anywho, you unwrap your cable tie, right? And then, say, for example, this has been sitting on the shelf for a while, you got jostled around or whatever, and you start to unwrap it. And what gives over under a bad name is if you start unwrapping it and you just get just a tangle, and then you start pulling it out, and every 3 feet or thereabouts, you get a little knot like this. Okay. That is not the fault of the wrap, okay? That is the fault of you. Seriously, though. So I'm just going to undo that because I want to show you some tricks with it. So what happened there, what caused all of these little circles here, okay, all these little circles every few feet, is that I took one end of the cable and I actually passed it through the center of the wrap to the other side. It's going through, and that creates one of those loops about every 3 feet. Now, how do you fix it? Well, you can take the end of the cable that you have, okay, and you get to your first loop, say, and I'm just gonna follow right through the knot itself with this bare end. And then I go to the next loop and I follow the cable through the knot. And then I go to the next one and I follow the cable through the knot. And I go to the, oh, that was the last one. And then I just pull, 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 pull. Okay. I missed one apparently. So I'll just pull that through the knot now. And I pull to the end. And now all the way through, I have unknotted that cable. Nice and simple, nice and easy. Again, that's because that's when you've got an over under wrap. So we'll just rewrap it really quick. As you can see, you can go fast when you get good at it. I've been doing this for too long. But the way that that happened is one of the ends, one or the other, went through the coil and got pulled out. Okay, it came off the wrong side. If you have a coil like this and it's just sitting on the ground, say you've got a truss going up in the air, this is plugged into something and strained relief properly, this all day long will just come off the cable. Now, fixing cables. So say you've got a cable and you start unwrapping it and it's just madness. Like there's little knots in it, or there's just little, or it's really twisty. Like for example, I take this cable that's been over under it its whole life and I just over it. Oh, but I'm twisting it. So I'm overing it and I get all these twisties in it, right? It's just like this kind of hot mess. There's some twisted bits. This cable's not bad. How do you get rid of that? Okay, the easiest way to fix a cable that's been wrapped really wrong for a long time is, and you're trying to just get tangles out, is start at one end, okay? And you just lay it out as flat as you can. Get the cable as flat as it can be across the floor. So I'm gonna run it the long ways. And then as I wrap, say I'm wrapping from the other end, as long as this end is free and I'm just in a nice straight-ish line on the floor, okay, as I'm wrapping and I'm coming towards this end, what you're gonna see is, and this is weird because this is just an example I'm making up, but as I get to it basically, and I'm fixing and I'm getting the knots out, you see this end just starts to spin. And that gets the knots, gets the circles, gets the swirls, the extra stuff out of it. So that then you've wrapped it once, it's good to go. If you've got a cable that's really angry at you, like it's been wrapped wrong for a long time, or it was wrapped wrong and exposed to some heat, just popping it in a warm place, like wrapping it nice or taking it straight and popping it out in the parking lot for on a hot day for a little while, can make the rubber and stuff really pliable so that you're able to wrap stuff again. But the biggest key, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. That keeps things from getting tangled. It makes things work well. Those, again, excessive like swirls and just where the cable starts to just spin on it itself, that is a sign of a cable that's been overed over the long period of time. It's not great for your cable and it causes those problems. Over, under, it's what the professionals do. It's the right way to do it. You don't have to put it on your elbow. Don't do that. You can just wrap it nicely. You can go fast. You can go efficiently. You can go effectively and get those cables wrapped for your next show. So no matter what kind of events you're doing, audio, video, or lighting, we would love to serve you. So at aboveavl.com, we have cables, but we also have all the AV gear you could possibly need. Got audio, video, and lighting. We want to help you. We want to help you build the perfect package for your needs and get it in your hand at your personalized price. If that sounds good, add some stuff to your cart, request a quote. Feel free to make notes about how we can help you, how we can recommend the best things for you. And you can also use our contact page. Ask us anything. We love to help. We want to earn your business for decades to come. If that sounds good, we'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.